Do you hear that haunting melody? It may be the vocalizations of an actual ghost. Posted by Charger3933 to the Ghosts subreddit. This clip captures a ghostly song in the abandoned Asylum, Eloise Psychiatric Hospital in Michigan, which we've discussed at length in previous top 15s. Charger notes in the comments that he did not hear the singing during the visit, only afterwards when he listened back to the recording. The Redditor was wandering around the abandoned asylum with a friend when he heard disembodied footsteps coming up the stairs. As he tried to capture the footsteps via a Snapchat video, he heard screaming from a distance. He saved the video and later heard the haunting singing as well. Redditor Wubbelubbedubbidy-doo in the comments writes, "Obviously we have to take the audio with a grain of salt because it's possible someone was hidden in the building. That being said, I hear the screams and sleep freaky AF." The same Redditor later notes in the thread that the uploader basically caught an EVP. He also remarks that he too hears the footsteps or something moving nearby. The uploader states that he tried to stay as still as possible, and that he would also consider this an EVP, as he did not hear the singing in real time. Redditor quite fast agrees that the singing sounds like a lullaby. The Redditor tried to isolate the woman's voice, and added a clearer clip to the thread. The humming voice sounds even spookier with the audio cleared up, and is quite fast notes. You can almost hear the words safe and sound. Do you feel safe and sound after watching this video? This orphanage turned satanic church holds a lot of secrets. The team was lured to the place after seeing a shadow figure in footage captured by urban explorers in the building. Watch the dark passage.
You saw a shadow figure in that video, and you sent it over to me, and I was like, no doubt that that's a shadow figure. So we definitely know that shadow figures are here roaming about. But also another thing is
now it's Ghost Club Paranormal's turn to find the truth. Upon entering the haunted cult house, they discover some disturbing imagery.
Like, literally, I've not.
Be careful, don't be around that thing that's from people shooting working wall.
Oh.
When they pull out their EMF meter, they get a jumpy reading.
We are getting, okay, I mean, for a building with absolutely zero electricity, that makes no sense. If there's anybody...
They also capture an EVP.
Yes.
Later, their REM pod is triggered.
Kidding me?
And shortly after, what sounds like footsteps are heard.
Hey, Cam.
Turning this up.
I just heard footsteps right behind me.
Then, they get a clear answer from the spirits.
We need to make clear contact with you right now if you're here with us. If you want to communicate with us, that's what we need. Oh my god, it's going off, it's going off. Shine your light up there.
And it's not long before they see them too. Watch the shadows in the hallway beyond.
Totally fine talking to us as well.
Do you see the shape-shifting shadow whip through? I sure did. After that, the crew is given the fright of their lives.
Just in case something does happen. Wow. Okay.
I am definitely feeling the terrifying energy in this house, but whether it's the young ghost congregant or Satan himself is anyone's guess. We've all done it, almost choked on something while distracted. But what should you do if you find yourself in this position while you're alone? This CCTV footage shows how a guy almost passed away while prepping a restaurant to open. The guy is doing his rounds, wiping down tables and getting everything in order, when suddenly he slows down, hitting his chest a couple times. It's clear something is going wrong, but he doesn't seem too concerned yet. He attempts to continue with his tasks for a moment, but then realizes this is serious. Walking to the middle of the floor, he bends to touch his knees and appears to be trying to stay calm. As he continues to pound his chest and bend over, trying to eject the piece of gum that's lodged in his throat, he starts to panic. He cannot breathe. He attempts to shout for help, but nothing comes out. While panicking more and more and getting increasingly unsteady from lack of air, he attempts to give himself the Heimlich with his hands. Still nothing. He then positions a chair to give him the Heimlich, bending over it and trying to fall the right way. Having already gone a couple minutes without breathing, he does this a few times. No luck. It's starting to look like a lost cause, but at the last second, the gum ejects from his throat. He is able to stand up again and looks incredibly relieved, as he should. He nearly passed away from a piece of gum. A man is driving down a haunted road in Hawaii when he sees a pale beige orb on the left side of his camera.
No idea what that is on my screen. It looks like a ball of light on the left.
I thought it was just his finger until I realized it was semi-transparent and slightly changing shape.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I have no clue. There's nothing there.
Watch this part and you'll see there's no way that this is his thumb. His passenger points at something on the side of the right, and their hand actually appears in front of the orb. The weird circle continues to hover in the corner for a full 3 minutes. It does not fade or go away even when they pull over, turn off the lights, and step out of the car into darkness.
It's still there. It's moving. It's still on the left. And I don't know what that...
If you have any idea how an orb could stay so plainly visible even without a light source, then let me know because I am honestly stumped. Chelsea Luna and her friend James go ghost hunting in an old haunted tunnel from the 1920s. This creepy shadow figure at 18 minutes and 7 seconds is what they find. Everyone says that this is a real ghost sighting, but I'm pretty sure this alleged apparition is simply Chelsea's finger while pointing at something. You can kind of see the rest of her hand when you look close, a split second before it happens. So I think this scary ghost sighting is an accident and not real. When unexplained shadows fall, your only recourse is to search for an answer. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Sammy Sam 1870 writes, "It was 2:06 a.m. and there was no one walking around, nor were there any cars in sight when this mysterious shadow strolled across my security camera. The following day, I tried to figure out where it could have came from, but found no explanation. The security camera footage shows a black shadow cast upon the ground, moving across the screen. As the Redditor explains, nothing visible in the area is casting the shadow. So do we have a shadow figure on our hands, or is this just a bug caught at a weird angle? If you were awoken by vibrations, what would you think was happening?" Published by YB Normal in January of 2012, a hotel guest awoke to something reverberating throughout his room in Beijing and reported hearing spine-chilling sounds. Grabbing hold of his camera, he went to the window where he spotted 3 unidentified flying objects in the sky. The dark saucers can be seen in a triangular formation in the distance, while in the background you can hear the disturbing noise that must have woken him. It's one deep, long, vibrating note, like the sound of something hovering. The camera zooms in on the saucers before the video turns off unexpectedly. The uploader says the camera stopped functioning for no reason. Are these extraterrestrials simply observing us Earthlings? Or are they trying to scare us with sleep deprivation? This video, titled Proof They Do Exist, Ghosts Swinging on Lights, was taken at a body repair shop at an undisclosed location. There are only 2 fans, both off. One is even pointed at the ground, yet this light is going crazy. It's even weirder when you see that both the next light over and the one furthest away are hanging still as can be. Here's another video of the shop taken on a different day. Watch for anything weird and tell me what you find, because I see nothing to cause this. There are no vents in the ceiling, so what could this be? This thermal camera captured a baby's cry, living people, and not so living people. First, the baby is heard. Next, a not so living person is seen on camera. And again here. Apparently, this is the background without the thermal camera on. And then lastly, a female EVP is heard.
She's laying on the couch.
What does she know? My guess, I think she knows who the not-so-living person is lurking around the room. This one looks straight out of a horror movie. Posted by Wet Tent YT to the Chills Narrator subreddit and originally published to YouTube in September of 2020. This is an urban exploring adventure turned into a nightmare. The uploader explains that this is a follow-up to a recent video he posted. He came across several tunnels after leaving an abandoned garage, and in these tunnels he encountered a figure he'd seen at the last location. These videos were filmed within hours of each other and showcase a strange person or figure that followed me while exploring. If you looked closely, it seemed to have an axe, and its eyes also looked like they were sort of glowing. In the video, after wandering down a tunnel, the uploader hears something. He sets his camera down on the ground in the tunnel facing the exit. That's when the aforementioned figure is captured, pounding on the roof of the tunnel with what appears to be an axe. Meanwhile, the uploader races down the adjacent tunnel, and when the axeman leaves, retrieves his camera from the ground, and races back towards where the axeman exited, shouting, "Who are you?" No response. He should probably be grateful about that. A Russian YouTuber plays Russian roulette with poltergeists in this paranormal footage. Published to YouTube by Dark Ghost in March of 2021. This poltergeist activity was captured by cameras installed in the haunted home, as well as cameras operated by the ghost hunter who was brave enough to enter. The first instance of paranormal activity comes when a camera that he installed in one room captures a cupboard being moved on its own. It scrapes across the floor and comes to a halt in the middle of the room. And after hearing the noise, the ghost hunter enters to see for himself. The room appears empty, but he soon realizes it's not. An entire wardrobe nearly falls directly on him. There is no space behind the wardrobe for someone to have stood and pushed it over. So what caused this heavy furniture to fall? In a state of shock, having barely escaped with his life, the ghost hunter sets up his spirit box to talk with the spirit. It asks him clear as day who he is and why he's here. The spirit tells him that it is dangerous. When he asks what is, she says his occupation. The spirit tells him that the souls of the passed away have heard him. She also notes that they're not all good ones. After a while, she refuses to answer any more questions. When the ghost hunter returns to the room where the cupboard moved and the wardrobe nearly took his life, everything has returned to its place. As he settles in for the night, somehow catching some shut-eye while stretched out on wooden chairs, a spot of light bursts above him, and he springs to his feet. He said that at that point he felt a bitter cold. Once you've nearly had your life taken and feel the temperature drop, it's probably time to pack it in and call it a night. The justice system in Brazil is notoriously overcrowded. As such, CCTV ghost footage like this sighting is not that uncommon. The CCTV ghost goes into a small courtyard and climbs the wall to see over the heads of people who aren't even there. After a bit of scouting, it goes back inside. This simple routine was probably repeated hundreds of times throughout the course of this passed away individual's time behind bars, and so it seems reasonable that it would continue to do so in the afterlife as well. A spirit sadly locked away forever. Posted to the r/chills narrator subreddit, Redditor The Cheese is Moist writes, "If I'm tripping, then don't come at me in the comments, but is that star changing colors?" In the video, he zooms in on a star in the distance. The closer the zoom, the more clear it is that the star is rapidly changing colors. I've never seen a star ever do this before. Is it a satellite? Or is there something more nefarious at play here? What are these strange so-called light balls that keep setting this Redditor's cameras off? Redditor Spambone is wondering if the Reddit community has any theories. Well, let's see what we can come up with as well. Let's take a look. This goes on for 2 minutes. Sometimes 2 light bulbs appear simultaneously. Some say it's obviously a bug, others think it's a web of some kind. Still others say it's a laser pointer or a reflection of some other light source. Practically no one thinks this is an orb or paranormal in any way, and neither do I. I'm firmly in the spider or cobweb camp. What do you think it is? A janitor is closing up a restaurant in San Francisco called The Chapel, which is said to be haunted by the ghost of a small girl. As soon as he is done locking the door, something tries to leave and then runs away. If she was afraid of getting locked in, why didn't she bang on the door to be let out? Also, how come she didn't say anything when all of the lights turned off? On the contrary, if this was instead a real person trying to sneak in, then she probably wouldn't immediately try to open the door because it could set off an alarm. I guess she could just be making sure the janitor really is leaving. But since this restaurant is said to be haunted by the ghost of a small girl, I believe this could be her. A paranormal team led by Derek Reese sits around the old family room of a haunted house in an undisclosed location. One of them must be sensitive to spirits because he asks them if they feel anything, and maybe he accidentally channels something into the room.
Oh my god, doesn't have something like... No, I'm not.
You can see everyone except for one person when the knock happens, but her hands are in her lap under a pillow, so no, it's not her. Later on, they are looking at old videos when 2 visual artifacts appear. One is pink and one is green, and neither of them will go away no matter what they try. And that's when they hear creepy singing and a deep voice say something like, "Get away from the door." The audio is pretty low quality, but what do you hear? A feisty octopus is heading out to sea when it sees it's been caught on camera and has had enough. The creature comes forward and even throws a swing. Getting chased underwater by this deep-sea creature is creepy, but the backstory is what makes this video even creepier. Moments before this was caught on camera, Bohema TV says he was swimming in the ocean when he felt something wrap around his thigh. Only when he came back to shore did he realize this was a living creature attached to him and not seaweed like he had originally thought. Here you can see it try to blend in with the rocks for a bit before giving up and swimming away. Apparently they have really sharp teeth and strong jaws, so luckily Bohema TV got away safely before getting chomped. This person's nails are just long enough to produce one of the most stressful sounds ever recorded. If you somehow are able to keep from cringing from stress at what I'm about to show you, consider me impressed. Worst of all, judging by these claw marks seen at the very beginning of the video, I think they tend to enjoy making this noise all of the time. Two friends unlock the door to an unfinished attic and step inside. Their single flashlight briefly shines across a mattress that nearly takes up the entire space. As they ponder what all of this means, a force pushes them over and the room goes dark. When the flashlight kicks back on, one of them gets off the ground on unsteady feet.
What's wrong? What? Just go. Go?
I think there's a possibility they could be acting, but then again, maybe a spirit is bound to the mattress and doesn't take kindly to intruders. Just when you think you are safe, published in July of 2017, this major fright is of the natural variety. While inside a Maruti showroom, a raging storm roars outside its glass storefront, wind, rain, the whole shebang. The wind grows more hostile. It looks like the whole showroom is going through a car wash. The store's employees and customers alike watch this wild weather, feeling safe and sound inside, but they shouldn't feel safe. The scary wind suddenly blows so hard that it smashes the glass, which shatters and collapses before their very eyes, and then it's chaos. Everyone runs as far away from the storefront as they can. People are screaming. Once the cameraman gathers his bearings and turns around to have a look, you can see water and glass scattered everywhere. People are still running around in a panic. They manage to cram themselves into a compact room near the back. From there, you can see it wasn't only the front window that shattered. Another to the side is broken too, causing crosswinds to whistle through the showroom from every angle. Ceiling tiles start to fall, and the whole building seems on the verge of collapse. I hope everyone here made it out safely.